Hello and welcome to Pictorial Planet. My name's John Finch. I'm down on the 7 Mile beach, which is just east of Findhorn in Morayshire, Scotland. And I've come down specifically this morning because I want to photograph this World War II bunker. Now, you've probably seen this photograph before from me. I took a different shot of a different bunker, which is about a mile that way. But I wanted to capture this one because I like it a little bit more. There's something about the leading lines of these stones, these concrete blocks that are disappearing off into the distance. So early in the morning, the sun isn't up yet. We're waiting for that. And as I wait, I'm just going to walk around and take a look at the different angles I have available to me for this shot. It's really important when you get into a location that you walk around, you put your camera down, you put your gear down, and you really have a good walk around to find out what you want to photograph. With me, often I'll be walking and something will call to me. I will see a scene and I will be attracted toward that. It's something about it that I want to capture on film. But that initial glimpse of what I want to capture is not usually the best shot. It's always better for me to slow right down now and just wander around here and start to look at the different angles. So I'll get on with that, and then when the sun comes up, we'll start to look at actually capturing this shot on my film. This is a different angle for the shot. This time I'm using the bunker on the right hand side of the image. And what I'm trying to do in this case is the viewer will see the bunker. Their eye will go to the right hand side and see the bunker, but it will block their eye from moving off the photograph on the right, and they will come back with their eye, and then they will see the leading lines of the concrete blocks moving off into the distance. I don't know if I quite like it as much as the first position I found, but it does have some qualities. You can see more of the bunker, you can see the doorway of how to get in. It adds a little bit of interest to it in that respect. So I'll probably take a couple of shots from this angle as well. So we're still waiting for the sun to come up. It should be coming up from behind the camera over there sometime, fairly shortly. So then I'll be able to take my meter reading and start to photograph. I'm really loving this angle. The way the bunker juts up towards the side of the image. Remember, this is going to be a square format image. So as we're seeing it on the video, we're wide, but imagine it's square. We're going to have the left-hand side there of the bunker up against the left-hand side of the photograph. This creates tension. Whenever you move an object, an important object in the photograph towards the edges, close to the edges, there's a certain tension builds up in the image, and this can be a very positive thing for your photograph. And the second thing I love about this is the way I've positioned the camera now, where I've got the video camera, I can see this line here running off into the distance. So there's interest there as well to keep the eye in the photograph moving off into the distance. Today I'm using my Rolleiflex SL66. I'm using an 80mm lens, the standard lens for this camera. Super sharp. Standard lenses are almost always super sharp. And of course I have my cable release. Really important. If I want to maximize the quality of my images, you want to really take every possible security against camera shake if you want to get the sharpest possible images and really get the quality that you need to make good enlargements. So still waiting for the sun. I don't have an exposure meter reading yet. So let's just sit tight. I brought my coffee with me, the most essential thing I can bring with me, apart from my camera, of course. Well, it's definitely not going to be sunny today. The clouds have just come over, so any chance of sun and extra contrast in this scene are probably not going to happen today. But I'm still excited about the photograph. Let me take a meter reading. Now I'm running Ilford FP4 through my camera. I'm going to develop it in FX55. I've already made that decision. I want the sharpness of the acutance developer to bring the grittiness out of this rock. I could have used Rodinal as well. I was thinking about Rodinal, but I need the film speed in this lower light. So FX55 gives me 2/3 of a stop extra film speed. So I've set that on my meter. I'm running it through at 200 ISO. And I'm going to take an incident meter reading. The lighting, although the sky is quite bright, the lighting is quite flat around the subject. So let me take the meter reading now. Now, when you're taking an incident meter reading, it's important not to point it up at the sky. You're going to underexpose your images a little bit if you do that. So point it level or slightly down towards the camera. I don't actually have to stand here and point it at the camera like this. I could just turn around at the camera itself and point it towards behind me. It's the same light that's hitting my subject, unless of course I'm in the shade and it's in the sunshine. But right now there's no shade and there's no sunshine. So let's have a look. We're going to take this incident meter reading. I'm going to slightly point it down 5 degrees, that's all, and select that. And I've got a 1/15 of a second at f4. So that's going to be a 1/4 of a second at f8. And that's going to give me more depth of field. 1/4 of a second is not going to be a problem for me because I've got tripod, I've got my cable release. I'm not worried about any camera shake. So let's take this photograph. It's sharp as a pin. Lovely, lovely shot. Okay, let's move the camera to the other angle. Draw your attention to the roof of the bunker. Can you see how that is lighter? It's lit up. And that is creating a contrast from the background, the dark background. I need to try to maintain that little bit of light in the roof there to separate the building out from the background. So to do that, I've got to lift the camera up a little bit, and I'm going to probably put it on some rocks or something just to try to pick it up to make sure I keep that nice light line available to separate the building. I've lifted the camera up onto this block of concrete, which has raised it up enough to get a better separation for that roof. It's these little details that when you slow down and you hang around the photograph for a period of time, looking at all the angles, feeling the image, you start to notice these little details that might just make it a little bit better, just that touch better of a picture. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I'm really enjoying just being here and looking at this and working with this image. I get a lot from doing that. And this is that moment. This is that moment of satisfaction where I've worked the image as best I can. I found my optimum position for the camera, and I'm really excited to capture this moment on film. There. I'm now back in the darkroom. I've got the film into the developing tank, so I'm ready to start developing. And like I mentioned, I'm going to use FX55 for this development. The first things I do when I start to develop the film after putting the film into the tank is prepare my chemistry. And that chemistry needs to be warmed up to 20 centigrade. Well, in the darkroom at the moment, it's only just above 14 degrees. So I need to prepare my chemistry by warming it up in a hot water bath. Here's my hot water bath. I basically just put a tray into the sink and I fill it with very hot water. So this water is about 50 degrees centigrade. I pop it in there like that. I'll get my graduates ready. So now I get my stop bath. This is just a standard stop bath. I make that with 400 milliliters of regular household vinegar and 600 milliliters of water to make the full 1 litre. So I'm going to pour my stop into there and pop it into the hot water. The next thing I need is my fix. I'm just going to fill up my graduate. Of course, I'm going to need a minimum of 500 milliliters because it's a 120 film. And I pop that into the hot water. Okay, so I get my thermometer and I start to stir the stop bath. And as it stirs, you'll see it's already picking up temperature. 17.2. It goes up very quickly. And what I'll do is I take it up to 21 degrees. And the reason for that is, over the time of developing the film, they're going to lose temperature. And so by taking it up above 20, they will come down to around about 20. And you know, with your stop and your fix, it doesn't have to be exact. As long as it's within a couple of degrees of 20, you'll be fine. So there we go, we're at 21 degrees. I'm going to put that into this tray here, and then I'll do the fix. Of course, moving the thermometer from the stop into the fix is fine. There's no problems doing that because that's what you do anyway with the film. $19.5. That's 20. I'm going to take it up to 21, just over 21. There, that's 21. Lovely. So I'll pop that on this tray as well. And make sure to wash your thermometer. With the stop and the fix now at 21 degrees, I'm going to make my water bath and also the water I'll use to make the developer with. So this has to be also around about 21. $21.5. That's good. And I'll put that to one side now. Here is my FX55 Part A, and I'm going to make 500 milliliters of developer. So it's 1 plus 9 is the dilution for this. So to make 500 milliliters, I'll use 50 mils of this and make it up to 500. Lovely. And I put that straight into my developing jug. There it is. Pop that in the sink. There it is. And now I need to add 0.7 grams of sodium ascorbate and 0.05 grams of phenidone. So let's do this sodium ascorbate first. I've got my scales ready, so I'll put on this and zero the scales. There we are. And we're looking at for 0.7. And I found this to work really well for 500 milliliters. 0.7. And we'll just tilt this up a bit. And put it into the developer. Next thing I need to do is stir it. Now when you get your stirring sticks, make sure you warm them up, because if you keep putting cold stirring sticks into developer, which is around about 20 degrees, it's going to cool it down, and we don't want that. So a little hot water. And stir and dissolve the sodium ascorbate. And it does take a minute to dissolve it, but make sure it's fully dissolved before you go on to the next stage. So the next stage and the final stage in making our developer is to add our phenidone. Now I use a 1% solution of phenidone, and this is dissolved in propylene glycol. And for 0.05 grams, I need 5 milliliters. So to get the 5 milliliters, I use a syringe. These are by far the easiest way of measuring this kind of amount. Just get exactly 5. There it is. And in it goes. Stir it. And now our FX55 developer is ready. The first thing I need to do is to pre-soak the film. It does a couple of things. It's going to bring it up to temperature. It's cold, as you've seen, it's 14 odd degrees in here. So I need to bring that up to 20 degrees or thereabouts with the pre-soak. And also it washes out any of that dye that's in the emulsion of 120 films. So I've got my tempered water here that I've already measured and warmed up. And I'm going to fill that right up and pop that on. And I want to agitate this as though I'm developing. And tap it to get rid of any bubbles. We need this pre-soak water to soak into the emulsion and swell it up for us. I'll set my timer and I'll give it 2 minutes. Okay, we're coming up to our 2 minutes now. I've got my developer ready. I've just checked the temperature. It's 20.3 degrees. There's all that dye, anti-halation layer dye. Put that there. 0 hour clock. And in goes our developer. After pouring it in, start the timer. Now you've seen me develop films many times on this channel, so I won't bore you with all the rest of this. I'll jump forward and we'll see what it's like after we've fixed. And we're at the fixing stage now. So I'm pouring in my fix. This is fairly fresh fix. Give it a little agitation. And when you've got your fresh fix, a good idea to find out the timing of the fix is after 30 seconds or so. It's just passing 30 seconds now. I can open the lid and take a look at the film and see if it's already fixed. And it is. I think you can see there, if I bring it to the camera, there's no cloudiness. It's already fixed after 30 seconds. So I'm just going to give it just over a minute, gently dipping and dunking. There we are, lovely. And I'll pour this fix out now. So it's had twice the clearing time. It was clear by 30 seconds. And so 1 minute is twice the clearing time. So that's the film fully fixed. A lot of people, they fix far too long. With your fresh fix, check it after 30 seconds. If it's okay, then give it, like you've just seen, dunk it for another 30 seconds and then it's fixed. When you open it after 30 seconds and it's still a bit cloudy, dunk it and watch to see the cloudiness disappear. When you see it disappear, look at the time and then dunk it for twice that time. So now next time you use that fix, open it up at that point where the cloudiness had just disappeared. And then watch. And you'll see as the fix is used up, it'll be longer and longer for the cloudiness to disappear. When it's twice the length of time it took at the very beginning, so you saw that it was clear at 30 seconds. When it takes a minute for the cloudiness to go, that fix is spent and get some fresh fix made up. You can still fix it after that minute, just dunk it for a further minute, twice the clearing time, but you know it's ready now to throw that fix away and make some fresh. So that's all done. I now need to wash this film thoroughly and then we'll have a look at it. That's great. It's had its wash, it's had its 2 minutes in LFN, so let's have a look at these negatives. If I can find the end, there it is. Look at that. That's lovely. They look really nice. Thank you all for watching. Yes, next week we'll be going through the printing process for one of those negatives. I want to thank my patrons for standing by me. I want to thank all of you for watching this video and giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate it. So, nothing more to say. I'll see you next week in the darkroom and we'll see what we can get from those negatives.